Уважаемые студенты, родители Международной гимназии Сколково, в рамках развития карьерного центра мы приглашаем вас на интерактивную лекцию с представителями частного Венского университета Модуль. И сегодня у нас в гостях Диана Полиниченко и Ибэн Нел с очень интересной лекцией «From Idea to Business with Modul University». Диана, здравствуйте, вам слово.
Здравствуйте, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to present in English today. We are representatives of Modul University Vienna. I'm going to start sharing the screen so that you can see the presentation. Just a second. So welcome and thank you for joining this presentation. And I would like to firstly introduce ourselves. My name is Diana Polnichenko and I'm a recruitment and marketing manager at Modul University. If you have any questions about the programs or the university in general, we'll be happy to answer them, and you can see my contact details on the screen. So of course you can write them here in the comments on YouTube now during the live stream, but of course if you have them after the presentation, feel free to contact me. And also I'm presenting today together with my colleague Eben Nel, the creator of the Startup-haba at Modul University, and Eben will do the workshop, the interactive workshop for you today.
Hello, everyone.
So we'll start with just showing you some facts about our university and the programs that we're offering. We are located in Vienna, Austria. As you might already know, the location is really convenient to travel around Europe. We also like to say that we're located in the heart of Europe, so it's really convenient and easy to travel to different countries around, and we really hope that soon the traveling will be back to normal again. Also Vienna is the largest student city in the German-speaking region. Fun fact about the city. And of course, if you're an international student here, you will always have a great and dynamic student life. So now on the slide, you can see the view on our beautiful campus on the left side and the view that opens over the whole city of Vienna on the right side. We're also surrounded by the woods and vineyards, which makes, again, the view even more amazing. And this panoramic view that we have from the terraces and the windows is really beautiful. So, and now we'll start with sharing some facts, key facts about the university. Modul brand stands for over 100 years of excellence in education. We were established in 2007 as the university by the Vienna Chamber of Commerce and Industry. But before that, in 1908, Modul was already established as a brand under the Modul Tourism College, so one of the oldest tourism colleges in Europe in 1908. And it is important to mention, and usually important, really important for the parents to know that all of our programs are accredited worldwide. So you won't have any issues with continuing your education for master's or PhD later on. And all of our programs are accredited by the accreditation, Austrian accreditation, so AQ. And some of our programs, hospitality-related programs, are also accredited by the TAT-QUAL accreditation. Also, we have the AMBA accreditation for our MBA programs. And of course, it's not a bachelor program, but it's also maybe important to know. As I already mentioned, we're established by the Vienna Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and we're still partly owned by the Vienna Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which gives us a great link to the industry partners in Austria. And yes, so now on the screen you can see the overview of our study programs. We have a complete offer of the programs, starting with the foundation program in a duration of a half a year, so just 6 months. And then we have the bachelor program, 7 bachelor programs offered at the university. It's 4 BSc, Bachelor of Science programs, and 3 BBA programs. International management, international marketing, entrepreneurship and leadership, which is a topic really connected to our workshop today. Business psychology, it's a brand new program that we offer starting fall 2021. Tourism and event management and hotel management programs. We have a 3-year and the 4-year program with the emphasis on the practical experience in hospitality. Of course, we do offer the graduate programs as well, so master and MBA, and the postgraduate program PhD if you would like to continue your academic career in the future. So that was it for the study programs overview and for the facts about the university. And now we'll proceed with the interactive workshop. So we will ask you many questions, and please feel free to type your answers in a comment box in the YouTube live. So Eben, now the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Diana. Yeah, students, please, we would like you to participate. So be active, ask questions. That's why we're here. Thank you for the presentation, Diana. Also, if you have any questions regarding the university, please feel free to also ask me. You're welcome at any time. Great. So our workshop will focus on from idea to business with Modul University. Next slide. So can you think of any business in the past 15 years, any major startup that turned into a significant business in the past 15 years? And I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Can you tell us the name of the company? And the first question is, what is their core business? The second question is, what place or area in the market did they disrupt? Now, I can think of multiple, but I'm sure some of you will come up with the regular examples. And the third question we want to know is, who was the founding member of this company? So I'm going to give you just 1 minute to think about this. What's the core business of this example you're using? What's their place in the market that they disrupted? And who's the founding member of this company? So Diana, if you can just tell me once you get 1 or 2 examples, and then we will, before we move on to the next slide.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
So we already have the first example.
Yeah.
And that's the Airbnb in sharing
very
economy,
good example.
sharing economy sector, and the founder is Brian Chesky.
Fantastic. Very, very good example. And I think it's one of the most prominent ones because they started off as this really simple idea of 2 students that wanted to sublet a mattress in their living room during a very busy period in San Francisco. So that was the core of the idea. And look where it ended up. It disrupted the whole hospitality industry globally, not just in one country, but all around the world. Okay, do we have any other one, maybe? One more? I can think of one. What about Uber?
So we actually have one more. We have more and more. Yeah, that's IKEA.
Yes,
I can see that's IKEA, and the founder is the Ingvar. So I'm not sure that it's written Ingvar, so I'm not sure exactly what was meant by that. Yeah.
And they disrupted the furniture and the household decoration market completely. That's another great example. Do we have another one, maybe?
Not that I can see in the comments for now.
It's fine. It's fine. So we'll use that, and I'm going to use Uber. Uber is another great example. They disrupted the public getting from point A to point B. Instead of using a general taxi service, you using a shared car facility that someone's private cars actually turn into a taxi when they're not using it. I mean, that was the core idea of the business. If you can tell me how many of these, we can go to the next slide, Diana. How many of these founders are female, the examples that we used? Not one single one of them. So the question we have for you is, why do we see so few female inventors or business disruptors in the market? And the reason I wanted to use this example is at Modul University, we pride ourselves that we educate and we motivate and we want to expose our students, regardless of what your background is, what your nationality is, or what your sex is, that you have equal opportunity to actually penetrate the market on every single level. So we prepare you to actually go and disrupt the market in whatever field you have or want to operate in. So that's why we wanted to use this example. Great, awesome. Thanks, Diana. So how many Austrian companies can you think of that actually not just disrupted, but had a significant global footprint? If you can think of 1 or 2, if there's any in the comment, I will give you another 30 seconds just to reply quickly. And it's normally quite a surprise. I mean, the most prominent one would probably, I won't mention it now, I will mention it shortly. Just tell me if you can find any, Diana, in the chat, I mean.
Yeah, so I can already see one.
Yeah.
And that's Austrian Airlines.
Yes. Okay, that's a good. that's a good example. It's a good example, but it's a public company, which is not wrong. It is a very prominent company. But I'll give you an example. We can go to the next examples. Red Bull. Red Bull was two Austrians went traveling and they found this really interesting formula in Thailand. And they wanted to bring it back to Europe to actually turn it into a scalable energy drink. And now Red Bull is recognized all around the world. But it's two Austrians that found this recipe and they actually scaled it up into a massive business. Next one that we know of is KTM. KTM sells road bikes, motorbikes, and it's a global footprint that they have at the moment. Another one we all know, crystals, amazing crystals. Swarovski is known globally for quality, not just in jewelry, but also in ornaments. And I think we have one more after that. Yeah, number 26. How many of you know of number 26? It's a virtual bank. The two founders had the idea that they wanted to be able that anyone can open a bank account from their mobile phone in less than 8 minutes. That was the vision they had. And this product was, they tried to sell this idea, this concept to Austrian banks. And the Austrian banks said, there's no way, no one wants to open a bank account on their phone. Yet now all the banks in Austria adapted that model that was sold 7-8 years ago that they all declined. But number 26 is now one of the biggest disruptors in the fintech market. They're now expanding into the USA. They're quite big in Europe already. And if you don't know them, once you move to Austria to join our university, this bank I can highly recommend. I personally use them, they're fantastic. And another one is TourRadar. It's two Australian brothers. They moved to Austria, so they're Australian by birth. They moved to Austria and they had an idea that they want to be a service provider in the tourism industry, but provide a link between the end user having an organized tour, but not joining a tour group. So they're selling predetermined packages, but it's not a package tour in the sense that we know. So you put together your whole own tour with transfers, everything, but you and your family or you and your partner, whatever the case may be. And they're quite successful. They scaled quite fast, expanding from just an Austrian operation to an office in Canada and one in Australia. And with a staff complement of well over 300 pre-COVID. Obviously now during COVID, they had to scale back significantly, but they're on a recovery track again. Great, thanks, Diana. So we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created these problems. That's something Albert Einstein said many, many years ago, and this is quite true. Great, thanks. Why is innovation necessary? We want to respond to trends and competitions, make the most of what we have already, and developing a unique selling point. Now, if you think, when someone thought about the concept of the wheel, imagine if someone just did the square and no one else knew the wheel before. What delay this would have been in so many of our development around the world. And it just goes to show innovation is very necessary. Thanks, Diana. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. Very, very applicable quote. Thank you. Thank you. Just a few words of innovation. I will leave this slide with you. Invention versus innovation. A need to distinguish between invention and innovation. Invention is something thought up or mentally fabricated, new device. Innovation is a change in the way of doing things. And I think it's very important that if you are interested in this field, entrepreneurship, innovation, that you realize what the difference is. Thanks, Diana. Just a few words relating to the total ecosystem. We will use these a lot in many of our classes and also in the startup hub. Now, big question. How many of you know what this is? If you can just, again, I'll give you 30 seconds just to type in the chat. But if you can tell me, what is this? Is it just an orange block? Is it just a letter? What do you think this is? Diana, if you have any responses there, you can just read them to me, please.
Yes, so for now I can only see the response that it's a logo of the company, but there's no response.
Very good.
Which company is it logo?
Very good. It is a logo of a company. It's actually a logo of a very, very large company, very significant. It's one of the biggest companies in the world, actually. We can move to the next slide, Diana. Thanks. So that is the logo of Alibaba. Alibaba sold goods on their platform worth $38.4 billion in one single day. This day is called Singles Day in China. It's very similar to our Valentine's Day around the world. For one company to sell $38 billion in revenue in one single day of sales is phenomenal. How long do you think it will take the Austrian Postal Service to deliver 38 billion turnover worth of products just in Austria? Just give me a wild idea, a wild guess. 1 day, 2 days, 1 month. Diana, if there's any response, you can just let me know.
Yes, you can already see the response that it's 1 month.
1 month. It's closer to around about 4 to 6 months on the current logistics of the country. So you can imagine for Alibaba to actually effectively distribute the sales of 38 billion purchased in 1 day, distributed with roughly a 1 week time frame. That is a phenomenal a phenomenal infrastructure, and it's a company that makes such a big impact in the market it's operating in. Yet it's one of the most unknown logos, company identities around the world, outside of China, that is. Thanks, Diana. So how many of you know what GAFA and BAT stands for? If you have any idea what it is. Diana, if there's anyone, I'm not expecting anyone to know, but if we have a response, it would be great, but I will show you.
Yeah, so let's give 15 seconds and then we'll
Cool.
see if someone is typing the response.
And it's not BAFTA, which is the British artists. BAFTA's, it's like the Golden Globes. So we're not talking about BAFTA, just for the record.
So no, there is no response. So I guess no one knows.
No problem. Let's go to the next slide. So GAFA stands for the 4 big tech companies in America at the moment: Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Apple. Did you know that there's the exact equivalent in China called BAT? And it's Buy, Alibaba, and Tencent. And these 3 combined, compared to the 4 GAFA combined, a very similar turnover, which is quite interesting because if you look at the trend, these 2 groups follow, one in Asia and one in America and further afield. It's interesting to see in which direction these are going and how they are evolving. So it's a very interesting trend that we obviously discuss in your class groups and in different sessions that we have on campus. Thank you. So creating the experience, how and why? Do you think that companies put in effort in designing their product and the things around their product? Do you think there's budget going into this? For instance, if you think about, let's use Tesla. I mean, how much money Tesla puts into design, into the customer experience. Do you think this is important? If you can just type in the chat quickly, yes, it is important, or no, it's not so important. The product quality is much better, is much more important. Diana, if there's any comments, you can just read it to me. I'll give like 10 seconds.
Yeah, so we have a comment that it is important, saying yes, it is important. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, and I'm going to show you something. How many of you have purchased an iPhone or an iPad or a MacBook, and you open it and you remove the plastic and you're trying to open the box, and for some reason this box does not want to open? You need to shake it, you need to use a knife. Why is it so difficult that the iPhone box cannot open, or the iPad or the MacBook? Why do you think this is? Surely Apple, with the revenue and the profit Apple generates every year, surely they can employ designers that can produce a better box. Don't you agree? Something is wrong here. Or do you think there's another reason? I'll give you again 10 seconds here. Diana, if there's any comments, you can just let me know. But think about this. With such a big company, with such a big revenue, why do we struggle to open this box? Is it important or not?
There is no response yet.
Okay, don't worry, I will tell you. Of course it's important. It's very important. Apple actually employed people.
Sorry, there is a response. Yeah, there is a response. Sorry for interrupting. No someone asked maybe to save the device. So the device stays, yeah.
Yes, that's a very, very good question. I mean, that's a very good response. And yes, to a certain extent it is, because inside the packaging, there's a lot of buffer or soft, areas to save the device. But I was referring more to once you open the box, to get the lid of the box removed, to get to the phone is very difficult. But there's a reason for that. So Apple employed product designers that looked specifically at the box because they wanted to create the customer experience. So when you buy the iPhone, you're super excited. Some people stand in queues for hours to get their hands on an iPhone, especially if it's a new model. So then when you buy it, you're so excited, you can't wait to open it. Then you remove the plastic. And the reason they designed this box to take so long for you to open it is that it builds on the excitement level. So by the time the box is open, which obviously takes a few seconds, you are so hyped up. You are so excited that you have this new product and you cannot wait to see it. So this is part of the design. Did you know this? Did you think that there are people employed to look into the psychology of the purchase process from the moment you give the money until the moment that you open the box? So there's importance in all of this. The way the branding looks, the way the phone fits into the box, the way the box opens. What do you find in the box? There's so much you can look at, and all these processes are part of discussions in your study programs. So it depends on the field that you would study in. You would look at these things, why people do it, what do they do, what's the processes behind it. So really, really interesting, and I can really encourage you to dive a bit into this because it's really interesting field. Thanks, Diana. Thank you. That's just let's get out there and party. It's not all about studying. We're also about having fun at Modul. Thanks, Diana. And then just a few things from us as a campus, as student services. We encourage our students to engage with industry, to engage with what's going on in the market at the moment. So we obviously now with COVID, it's not that easy, but we organize trips to Dublin to go to the Facebook head office, to the Google head office, to Microsoft, to Oracle. We, thanks Diana, the next slide is in Lisbon. So we encourage our students to attend Web Summit. Web Summit is not just a tech, the biggest tech expo in the world. It's much more layered than that. It's focusing on startups in tourism, in hospitality, in tech, fintech, everything you can imagine. So it's more than 70,000 people that come together and just for 1 week interact, network. It's really fantastic. So we really want to provide our students this platform that you have the freedom to go and experience this, because at the end of the day, is once you graduate, you need to tap into these resources and networks that you build up as a student. Thanks, Diana. Yeah, and this is just a few photos from Web Summit, innovation in robotics, tourism and hospitality. Sorry, I forgot to mention another conference that we highly recommend our students and help organize the trips is ITB in Berlin, which is the biggest travel expo in the world. So that's another one that we promote actively. Thanks, Diana. And that's it from my side. I will hand over back to Diana. If you have any questions, please, we are here to assist you, to help you, and yeah, just to answer your questions, and hope to see you in Vienna very soon.
Thank you so much, Eben. Thank you for this interesting and interactive workshop. So now on the screen, you can see our social media, and you can actually check us on social media. We're everywhere on Instagram, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. So you can just log in and check our profiles and see the student life and how actually everything is in Modul University. So for now, I think we are done with the presentation. If anyone has any questions regarding the programs or any questions to Eben related to entrepreneurship and what you just heard in this interactive workshop today, please feel free to write in the comment section. And yeah, we see the participants are saying thank you. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, for now, I'll stop sharing the slides. And let's maybe wait for 10 more seconds. If we, like 15 seconds, if we don't have any questions, then we can wrap up the session for today.
Anytime.
Yes, so thank you so much. Thank you for joining our workshop. And we don't see any questions, but you've seen our contact details, and you can always find them also on the website. So we will be happy to answer all your questions regarding the university and the programs. Thank you so much for being with us today. And
thank you.
Yes, so yes, now I'll just say a word in Russian. Спасибо большое за то, что присоединились к нам сегодня. Ждем вас в Вене.